Hey book nerds, I'm here with a subscriber request video, and this was requested by Vampirella, and she requested for me to show the best books that I've read so far this year. And surprisingly, these are all 5-star books that I rated, and I don't know how to describe each one except that I really love them all and that they always stayed with me. The books that make me stay within that world are the ones that I always mark as 5 stars. And I only gave 10 books so far this year that I read that are, to me, perfect reads. So I will get started. They're not in any order, so I'm just gonna grab them. The first one is Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi, and this is the 3rd book in her trilogy of the Shatter Me trilogy. And what can I say? This book, she chooses one of her love interests, and I was always gunning for him, and you could see how much love is between them two, and okay. There is another, Sexy Times chapter in here, and I just remembered reading that and I was like getting flushed. The only thing that I really had to say about it critically was that not a lot plot development happens. A lot of character development does happen, and the ending was a little rushed. So even though that was the case, I still gave this one a 5 star. Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. Is this any surprise that this book is on here? I am in love with this trilogy. I was dying for this one to come out. Leigh really ended it really well, and there was a lot of emotional parts, I have to say, that I kind of teared up in. So if you guys haven't started this series, I highly suggest it. It is an amazing fantasy. Blood Red Road by Maura Young, and I don't know why I, didn't like this at first. Maybe I had to get used to the way that the writing is. There are no dialogues whatsoever, and it's a little hard to decipher the characters because it's written in a phonetic style, and I remember putting this down and I was like, okay, no. I picked it up again and I loved it. I loved it. There is so much action, there's so much heart, there is so much determination for her to find her brother, and I loved it. It was written so well, and I really think this is one of the most underrated reads out there. Forever Song by Julie Kagawa, and is it any surprise that this is on here? The first 2 books I gave a 5 star as well. I love how she ended this one. Oh my god, there was a little bit of humor in this one that made me want to smack him at the same time, but he was just so funny and hilarious. And did I just say the same thing? Yes, I did. Hilarious and funny are the same thing. But anyway, I loved how she ended this one. You just know what's gonna happen. There was a little bit of twisty, turny plot development in there, but other than that, it was an amazing ending to that vampire trilogy. This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales, and this is the only contemporary, I believe, on this list right here. I love this book so much. It spoke to me. It was so enthralling. There were so many good quotes in this one. I was surprised at how much I liked it. I actually gave this one a 4 star, but it stayed with me for a couple of days afterwards, and I just had to change it to a 5 star. I love how the character goes through all these changes and how strong she is. She is not a pushover. She is very assertive, and I love how literal this title was. I didn't actually know that was the case, but I was surprised in how amazing the writing is in this one. A Mad Wicked Folly by Sharon Biggs Waller. I loved this one. This is a historical fiction novel, and it's about a girl who gets kicked out of boarding school because she poses nude as a nude model, and that's a no-no back in the day. And I love how the movement, the suffragette movement was positioned in here. I actually didn't know much about it, but I learned a lot from this book. It was really cute. The love story was adorable, and I just thought it was just so perfectly written. It was so good. I felt like I was dropped into that century, and it was so good. The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. I recently just read this and I loved it. There was so many good things about it. There are love interests, there is magic in this, and I just love Elisa. She is a new princess or queen, if you want to say, that is coming into her own, and I felt that coming of age. She was really vulnerable in the beginning, but she grew to be a strong character in the end, and I am reading the next one and I love this series. I can tell why everyone loves it. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, and I actually watched the movie before I read the book, and it really set the tone. I loved how creative it was. The fact that it is narrated by death and that it was set in World War II where death was everywhere. It was just, oh, it was really, really good, and also very emotional. I kind of teared in the end, and oh god, even just watching that movie made me cry. There's just something so devastating about that time, and I loved it. This was a definite 5-star for me. This is Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and this is an adult YA crossover to his new trilogy. I heard a lot of hype about this one and I kind of stayed away, but then I did a buddy read along with Johanna, and she and I were talking back and forth, and it was just so much fun that, you know, deciphering who the character and what they were doing, what their intentions were. I liked some characters, I hated some characters, and the violence in it isn't as, you know, as bad. It's probably the same kind of violence as The Hunger Games. Darrow is definitely one character that I want to know more about. There's just so many twists and turns in this one. I didn't even see that one coming, so I was like, oh my god. It was just like, yeah, I even told Pierce, like, on Twitter that he totally wrecked me with that part, so cannot wait for Golden Sun to come out. Last but not least is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and oh, this book is trying to be all sorts of different genres. Maybe that's probably why not a lot of people like it, but this one stayed with me so much because of all of the genres that I like. It's fantasy, it's a little bit of magic, there's a little bit of paranormal, there's also dystopian, and there's also romance. So all of it thrust into one world where all the characters are basically trying to survive. I thought it was a different type of read where I was like, what the heck, I don't know what I'm reading, but it eventually pieced it all together, and I just fell in love with the two characters. The love interest in here, there's just some hot steamy stuff, and I was like, okay, yes, give me more please. So yeah, love this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know which books you guys gave 5 stars so far this year. It doesn't have to be published in 2014. It just means you have to have read it this year. So until next time, bye guys.